Hi everyone, and welcome back to Design for More. Today we're going to be talking about something that I've observed that manifesting generators quietly judge themselves for: restlessness. If you're a manifesting generator and you've ever felt like you outgrow things quickly, like you get excited about something and then suddenly you just, don't, like you have to justify your pivots, or that you start strong and then feel pulled somewhere else, then this episode is for you. I've already recorded episodes explaining the manifesting generator energy type. I've recorded ones on strategy, and this is neither of those things. I'm not going to reteach you your design today. This is about what it feels like to live inside of your body. Because there's a very specific kind of shame that can form around manifesting generator restlessness. There are quiet thoughts like, why can't I just stick with something? Why do I lose interest so fast? And why do I always want more? Why can't I slow down? Why do I change my mind? And if you've been in school systems or corporate environments, other long-term structures that reward consistency above all else, then you probably internalize the idea that your movement is a flaw, or that your speed is instability, that your curiosity is maybe a distraction, or that your pivots are irresponsible. And I want to gently begin to recalibrate that, to support you in remembering that you are not inconsistent. You are iterative. And I'll say that again because it's so important, because it's the truth. Manifesting generators are not inconsistent, they're iterative. And an iterative being learns through doing, refines through movement, discovers clarity in motion, and adjusts based on response. You're not meant to pick a path at 18 and walk it straight until retirement. You're not meant to lock in an identity and stay there forever. You're designed to respond, move, refine, and evolve. And when you don't understand that about yourself, then restlessness can start to feel like dysfunction. But restlessness for a manifesting generator is not random. It's information. And the key is not eliminating it, it's understanding what kind of restlessness that you're actually experiencing. Because there are two very different kinds, and they feel completely different in the body. The first kind I like to call contraction restlessness. It's the kind that feels tight, like irritation, like the feeling of being trapped, your energy being trapped, buzzing under your skin, maybe feeling a little agitated, like you want to blow something up or escape something. It can feel scattered, like your energy is bouncing around with nowhere to go. And this kind of restlessness often shows up when you've stayed somewhere past the point of aliveness. Maybe the job once lit you up, but it doesn't anymore. Maybe the project was exciting, but now it feels flat. Maybe the relationship dynamic shifted, but you're still trying to operate from the old version. Your sacral has moved on, but something else hasn't. Maybe it's commitment or fear, or maybe it's the belief I should just finish what I started, or I can't change again. So the energy that is meant to move forward gets compressed instead. And compressed energy feels like irritation. It's the kind of restlessness that says something is complete. Not broken, just complete. But when you've been conditioned to equate completion with longevity instead of vitality, then you override that signal. You tell yourself to push through, be disciplined, be consistent, be reliable. And your body starts buzzing louder. And this is not because you're chaotic. It's because movement is trying to happen. And the second kind feels completely different. The second kind is expansion restlessness, and it feels like curiosity, like a forward pull, like you can almost sense something opening. It's not tight, it's alive. There's excitement in it, maybe even a little nervousness, but that nervousness feels expansive, not trapped like the first kind. You start getting ideas, you feel creative, you want to experiment, you feel pulled towards something new. And that restlessness says there's more here. Not because what you have currently is wrong, but simply because you're designed to build through evolution. You are not meant to stay static. Manifesting generators are kinetic, and kinetic energy needs to move. Think about water. Still water stagnates while moving water stays clear. When you try to contain expansion restlessness, when you suppress it in the name of discipline or stability, then your energy doesn't become calm. It becomes dull, irritable, maybe even self-critical. And sometimes you probably begin telling yourself stories like, I'm too much, I can't focus, I should just pick one thing. Why am I never satisfied? But here's the recalibration. Restlessness is not the problem. The quality of the restlessness is a sacred signal. Contraction restlessness, the first kind, feels tight. Expansion restlessness, the second kind, feels open. And your body knows the difference. You can feel the difference. Most, and I would say almost every manifesting generator I've worked with doesn't need more discipline. They need more discernment, more trust in their response, more permission to iterate. Now, I want to go a little deeper here because I've observed that part of why restlessness gets pathologized is actually cultural. We live in systems that reward linear movement. Pick a path, stick with it, climb it, stay on it, prove yourself on it. But manifesting generators don't climb ladders. You build spirals. You revisit things at higher levels. You circle back with new mastery. You evolve identities over time. And from the inside, to people who are designed differently, that can look inconsistent. But from the inside of your design, it is intelligent. You are not meant to finish everything in the way you started it. You are meant to refine it as you go. And sometimes that refinement will include pivoting. Sometimes it will include stopping. Sometimes it includes saying, well, that was true for me then, but it's not true for me now. That's responsiveness, and that is absolutely correct for you. In fact, when manifesting generators suppress expansion restlessness, expansion energy, creation energy for too long, something sticky starts to happen. The energy that was meant to move outward starts turning inward. And it can show up as self-doubt, irritation, overthinking, criticism of yourself, even questioning your identity. Maybe you start trying to fix yourself instead of listening to yourself, or you start trying to discipline yourself into stillness, into staying. But stillness without response is not peace for you. Movement is regulation for you. And I don't mean chaotic movement, I mean flow. You're designed to move when there is something to move toward. And if you've been telling yourself that restlessness is a flaw, then I hope that I don't hope, I pray, I set it as my highest intention, that this is the moment where that story can begin to soften. So let's make this practical. If you're in a place right now where you feel restless, maybe it's about a job, a project, a relationship dynamic, your business, or your creative expression, I want to invite you into something simple and not mental, but embodied. You don't need to close your eyes if you're driving or walking, but if you're somewhere quiet, I invite you to let your shoulders soften a little. And take a slow breath in through your nose. Exhale out of your mouth. And now bring to mind the thing that you feel restless about. No need to analyze it, just feel it. And ask yourself, when I think about this, does my body feel tight or open? Is this restlessness sharp and compressed? Or is it spacious and forward moving? Does it feel like I'm trying to escape something? Or like I'm being pulled toward something? Notice your first instinctive response. Not the story, the sensation. If it feels tight, irritated, like you're pacing inside of yourself, that may be contraction restlessness. Something is likely complete. And you might be overriding that completion because of commitment, expectation, fear, or attachment to identity. But if it feels open, alive, curious, like there's energy building in your chest, then that may be expansion restlessness. And that kind does not need to be suppressed. It needs to be honored, and that can be in small, safe, responsive ways. And this is where manifesting generator recalibration really lives. You don't have to blow up your life every time you feel restless. You don't have to make dramatic declarations. You don't have to quit immediately or pivot overnight. But you do need to move something, even if it's small. Respond to something that lights you up. Follow the sparkle just a little. Let the iteration begin. Because what creates internal chaos for manifesting generators is not the movement, it's the stagnation. It's containment. You were never meant to be contained. It's trying to force yourself into stillness that doesn't match your design. And unfortunately, this is opposite of how so many manifesting generators were raised. Many were praised as children for being capable, fast, efficient, good at many things. And so you may have developed an identity around being super competent, reliable, and productive. But when your energy shifts, when your sacral response changes, it can feel destabilizing to let go of something that you're good at, even if it no longer feels alive. So you stay. And that staying slowly drains you. And then you call yourself inconsistent when you finally can't stay anymore. But the truth is simply that your energy moved before you did. You felt it, but you just didn't trust it yet. And this is why I want to keep coming again and again and again back to the truth that you are not inconsistent. You are iterative. And iteration means that you try something, you respond, you refine, you adjust, and then you move again. And that is not flakiness or indecision or chaos. It's intelligent evolution. And for manifesting generators, clarity can rarely, if ever, come before movement. It comes through the movement, and that is so different from many other energy types. You're simply not meant to sit and think your way into clarity. You're meant to respond and then let response show you what's next, which means if you're waiting for total clarity before moving, then you may feel restless for a long time. because your clarity lives in motion. I'd like to actually talk about discipline for a moment because I often see that what we call discipline is actually suppression. Now, don't get me wrong, discipline can be beautiful. It can create structure, it can support devotion. But for a manifesting generator, discipline that ignores response becomes containment. And containment creates pressure. And pressure eventually becomes either irritation or collapse. There is a big difference between I'm devoted to this and I'm choosing to stay, and I should stay because I committed. Your body knows the difference. Devotion will feel grounded, whereas suppression will feel tight. So if you feel restless and you immediately respond by tightening, telling yourself to focus harder, commit deeper, be more disciplined, then I invite you to pause and ask yourself, am I refining something that still lights me up? Or am I trying to discipline myself into staying somewhere my energy has already left? And that question alone can change everything. You are allowed to change your mind without making yourself wrong. You are allowed to outgrow things. You are allowed to pivot. You are allowed to move toward what feels alive, even if you once declared something else. And that is not flakiness. It is your divine design. You are here to bring speed and vitality into the world. You're here to show us that growth can be nonlinear, that life doesn't have to be one straight line to be coherent. And your coherence is not in your consistency, it is in your response, which comes in motion. And for those of you who are listening who are maybe not a manifesting generator, but love one, live with one, lead one, then this is really important for you too. Please understand that their movement is not instability, it's intelligence. And when you try to pin them down or shame their pivots, then they don't become more grounded. They become more self-critical. But when you trust their movement, then they become more coherent. Because restlessness is not about dissatisfaction with you. It's about alignment within them. So whether you're observing a manifesting generator feeling restless right now, or you are one who's feeling restless right now, that instead of asking questions like, what's wrong with them or what's wrong with me, try asking simply, what is trying to move? And then support them or support yourself in taking one small step in that direction. Doesn't have to be a leap, a step. Respond to something that sparks you. Have the conversation, research the idea, experiment, iterate. Let your life breathe a little. You are kinetic, and kinetic energy, when it's trusted, becomes creation. But when it's suppressed, then it becomes irritation. So your restlessness is not a flaw, it's feedback. Your response, your body's wisdom, when honored, will never lead you away from yourself. And if you'd like to go deeper into actually living in this way, I created an embodied orientation for manifesting generators that walks you through how to trust your response in real time. I'll link it in the show notes. No pressure. It's just there if it feels like the next right step. Manifesting generator, you are allowed to evolve. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to move. And perhaps even more important than permission is that you were designed to move. This is your gift, the gift to yourself, for how good it feels in your body when your creation energy that moves to you and through you is allowed to flow, and the gift to this world for how you turn the formless into form. I see you. I celebrate you. Thank you for being here. Until next time.